Austin residents still have time to early vote on the 8 propositions that are currently on the ballot, all of which could have lasting impacts across the city. Amy Stansbury, editor-in-chief of the Austin Common, joins us this morning to break some of them down for us. Good morning, Amy. Thank you so much for making time to be with us.
Hi, good morning.
Many props here. As we mentioned, we've got Prop A through H, but I want to focus on 3 specifically. Prop B being, first off, the homeless camping ban. Talk to me a little bit about that, please.
Yeah, so if Austin folks remember, back in 2019, our city council did away with a lot of our rules around camping, and especially for homeless people here in Austin. And since then, there's been a lot of controversy about it as the city's kind of grappled with what is the best way to help our homeless residents. And because of that controversy, there's been a group called Save Austin Now, and they gathered the 20,000 signatures necessary to put something like this on the ballot. And so basically, if Prop B passes, it will return us back to that pre-2019 rules and regulations. So it basically reinstates those camping bans we had before. Obviously, this is very controversial. Some folks see, obviously we have a big homeless problem and want to figure out a different way about it. Don't like that we have, all this public camping. On the other side, other folks are arguing, if we reinstate these bans, it just recriminalizes something that people have no other option, or they don't have a house just because we passed the rules, right? And so that's kind of the debate that's happening right now, and is one of the most controversial things on the ballot. So I definitely encourage folks to do your research on it because it's impactful.
Yeah, it's something that is getting a lot of attention, and as you say, impactful being that key word, because it will impact you if you are a resident of Austin and if you live in work in the city as well. We'll fast forward over to Prop F. This is a charter amendment changing Austin's form of government from council manager to mayor council, also known as strong mayor. Something different for the city.
Yes, and so this is another one that was put up by a citizen signature drive. A group called Austinites for Progressive Reform put this on the ballot. And so basically right now what we have is a council manager form of government, it's called. So we have our city council, and for folks that follow these things closely, whenever they pass anything, they always say, now we would like to direct the city manager to do X, Y, Z, right? And so basically the way it works is the council sets the policy, and a paid, unelected professional city manager implements that policy. If Prop F passes, it would basically take away that city manager position, and the mayor would become that chief executive of the city, while our city council would remain the lawmaking legislative aspect of the city. And then crucially, also, that mayor would get veto power over anything that city council passes, but then city council would in turn be able to override that veto with 2/3 of the vote. So it brings us a little closer to what you might see at the, presidential Congress level, or even here in Texas with our governor and our legislature.
Prop H, something that we have not reported on too much, implementing a Democracy Dollars program.
Yeah, this is another one, a pretty interesting program. It's heavily modeled after something they did in Seattle, which was kind of the first big city to implement something like this in the U.S. And the idea is to come up with a program to counteract big money in politics. That's what they've been saying. And so the idea is, if it were to pass, every Austin registered voter would get 2 $25 vouchers in the mail called Democracy Dollars when it's election time, that they're able to donate to the mayoral candidate of their choice and the city council candidate in their district of their choice. And the idea here is just, most average people do not have the money to donate to our local political campaigns. And so this empowers them and gives them the ability to do so.
I want to talk a little bit about the Austin Common now, if I can a bit. I discovered you, if I can use that word, during the ice storms that we had over in February on Instagram, and your platform provided what I thought was a very effective and a simple explanation as to what was going on, as to what ERCOT it, as to, how we are dealing with the situation. And as I have been following you now, I'm understanding a lot more of, you make it easy for me and for everybody else to understand what's happening in our local government. When did you begin Austin Common, and really what is your mission? And beyond that, I encourage all of our viewers to follow you, because it'll empower us more with information.
Well, thank you. I'm so glad to hear it. That's exactly the idea is, it's hard for the average person to follow around and know what's going on with our local government. There's so much going on. We lead busy lives. And so what we try and do with the Austin Common is just make it easy for you to understand who is your mayor and what's he doing this week? Or what's your electric utility up to right now, especially in light of the storms? Or what is on your ballot? Because people don't have all day to research these things. So we try and make it easy for them to understand. And we got started about a year ago off of a different iteration. I'd been doing this stuff for a long time in town. And so kind of all the right people came together about a year ago. And especially with the pandemic, we said, now's the time. People need information more than ever, right? And especially local information. And so, yeah, anyone can find us at theaustincommon.com, or our Instagram is _Austin_Common.
Yeah, you do a great job. And like you said, it's visually simple, and I understand it all. theaustincommon.com. Amy, thank you so much for chatting with us and breaking a few things down for us again. We appreciate your time.
Thank you, and don't forget to vote.
Oh, absolutely. Must vote. Early vote or vote on Saturday.